Brian Costello joins us. Brian, last night, the first time a 6-page letter went to Sequoia Capital to begin the investigation. Folks should understand, this is just the start. This is a preserve your documents move. Sequoia Capital, a viper's nest out there in Silicon Valley, out in Palo Alto, a viper's nest of traitors to this country, completely controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. Brian, give me a quick and dirty. What happened last night? And this gets right back to McCarthy, and it gets right back to Scalise. They've been taking money from these guys, and finally, as soon as they're moved out of the way a little bit, you got Gallagher, not the guy who should be doing it, not Turner at Intelligence. And if Turner's your congressman from the Dayton area, you ought to be lighting this guy up today. Tell me what happened, Brian, about with Gallagher and these guys to begin. This scandal about Sequoia Capital gets to the beating heart of what the problem in this nation is. Brian Costello.
So Mike Gallagher last night launched a 6-page letter to Sequoia Capital, to its current managing partner, Roloff Butha, and Don Vieira, who used to work for Lisa Monaco, who's running public policy now for them, and asked a bunch of very poignant questions about funding weapons. It was now the thing that people should understand is the breadth of this letter, right? So this is a letter going from a bipartisan committee, Princeton grad, former military GOP guy, Mike Gallagher, to America's preeminent venture firm, questioning them about funding weapons in China. Okay, so what's not being said here is who else had this information and when, right? You mentioned Mike Turner. Well, I'll tell you right now, you talked about McHenry on the top of the show. McHenry is the only guy in Congress through the Financial Services Committee fighting outbound restriction of investment into China. McHenry has the ability right now to launch an investigation into Gary Gensler at the Securities Exchange Commission about covering up crimes for one of the Sequoia principals. And he will not do it because he's beholden to the party donors.
Okay. Hang on a second. This is how it starts, like the first leg in Watergate. This investigation properly done is going to expose a scandal in this city that are going to make people's heads blow up, and it's got as many Republicans. The Democrats have taken 80% of the money, but the Republicans are up to the neck in it. McHenry, McCarthy, Scalise, all of them, and their teams. And we're going to drive this to get to the bottom of it. This was funding our enemies on American pension fund money, and these guys are getting basically kickbacks as campaign donations to shut up and let it continue. That, in essence, is the beating heart of this story. By the way, you got the government, you've got people in the government, you got Mike Moritz, they funded the Democratic Party, and the Republicans to make sure the Republicans didn't expose it. They paid off McCarthy, they paid off Scalise with campaign donations. You're going to find McHenry, all of them. This is what we're fighting for right now. This ties directly back to this fight today. This is what the grassroots, and this is why you need radical transparency. They have funded our enemies at the most advanced stages of weaponry that could take out a carrier battle group that none of their kids, sons or daughters are going to serve on. Take out a carrier battle group in the Straits of Taiwan on technology developed by the U.S. with money supplied by the pension funds where everybody made a fortune, and they kicked it back into the Democratic Party, and they paid the Republican Party to shut up.